Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this. Let's talk about UConn. Let's talk about what they did tonight because it felt like for probably the first 18 to 19 minutes of the game that Illinois was doing everything that they needed to do to be able to have a chance to pull off this upset. They were able to kind of stymie UConn in and around the lane. They were able to make Tristan Newton uncomfortable. They were able to run UConn off the three-point line. UConn got some good looks that they missed. It's going to happen because Illinois was able to make them a little bit uncomfortable. I would make the argument that was the best defensive half anybody's played against UConn this entire season. And I've watched every single defensive half or every single half of UConn basketball this entire season. But then in the second half, the avalanche started, Jeff, and we saw UConn kind of turn into the juggernaut that they've been this tournament. And I want to start with this with you. Donovan Clingan, 22 points, 10 boards, 5 blocks. He was robbed, by the way. He should have had at least 8 blocks, 3 steals. That was as good of a defensive performance as I ever remember seeing, ever, by a big guy in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember one in a while, right? I mean, obviously, I think Shaq probably was as dominant. But this one was so dominant that in the second half, Terrence Shannon was, like, scared to look at the basket at times. You know, he brought it in there 3 straight times at one point, twice in a row, and got swatted. And Terrence Shannon probably is the most aggressive dude in all of college basketball, right? Now, I think we'll talk about this later about Illinois, but, like, if he had a floater game, if he had a mid-range game, it might have been a little different. They had one play early in the second half where, if you remember, Shannon got to the basket. He missed kind of a runner. And then there was an offensive board. Somebody had it, and he missed it. And I think, again, I'm not sure it would have been any different, but the floodgates opened, and there was no way they were stopping him because, again, Kling Kong, whatever it was. Kling Kong was in there, and everybody was terrified of him. Well, you had me thinking the whatever of Bristol. You know,
the Great Wall of Bristol.
Great Wall of Bristol. Yeah. I don't know. So
Kling Kong is the offensive end. The Great Wall of Bristol is the defensive end. That's what I've determined.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, listen, usually he wasn't as good as this was about as good as he's been overall.
Well, it's
offensively.
This was it's always going to be a matchup thing with him on the offensive end of the floor because we talked about it last night. I don't want to rehash the whole thing, but he's 7'3" with a high waist. He's never going to be backing people down. Right. If you're shorter and stronger and have more leverage, like he's just not built. It's just physics. Right. But Coleman Hawkins is not shorter. He's not stronger. He's not more stout. And when you're going to try to play him one-on-one, you don't really have a chance. And I thought Sweeney was really smart that it was a point for that UConn staff to go to Donovan early and often. The first 2 sets that they ran were the exact same one where they basically set up a clear out to try to get the lob over the top. It was honestly like it was a play that they stole from Creighton to be able to get a dunk for him. First one he missed, got wedged up between the rim. Second one, dunks at home, and it was kind of off from there.
Yeah, I think the confidence was massive for him early on. And then, again, you block a couple shots, and you start to feel it. I mean, look, is anyone ever going to shoot 0 for 19 on, like, shots against Clingan again? Probably not. But, like, that stat is ridiculous what he did defensively.
Elaborate on what that stat was.
So I think it was ESPN Stats and Info said that on every shot, Donovan Clingan contested 19 shots in this game, and Illinois didn't make a single one of them, right? And that was the story, was that Illinois, you know, the way that they play is very much like we're gonna send 2 to the, as soon as someone sends 2 to the ball, we're gonna spray it, we're gonna attack the rim, and we're gonna be super aggressive. And we have guys who can go get downhill. Obviously, Shannon, you know, the leader of that charge, but Gary A. and even some of the guys that come off the bench, like they are going to fly at the basket with reckless abandon. They're going to either get fouled or they're going to finish the rim. And they could not do anything. Ty Rodgers could not do anything. They were completely eliminated at the rim. And once I think they felt the weight of that, then things really broke down, and then UConn can get into their transition game. And when you, like, look, I know we can label a million different things that make UConn great. To me, I think the thing that like, everything else is gravy if you can stop them in transition. Like, if you can take UConn out of all their transition stuff, you have a chance to beat them. If you let them go running like they did in that, 4, 5, 6 minute stretch in the second half, it is over. I mean, look, everyone talks about the 30-0 run. In 4 minutes and 20 seconds in the second half, UConn went 20-0. Like, scored 20 points in 4 minutes. and it's just a track meet. Everybody's flying down. I mean, Samson Johnson had a couple dunks. Like it is. Again, the sets are great. Everything's phenomenal, but it doesn't matter when you can't stop them from
Here's
running.
the thing: is there's so many different ways that they can beat you.
Yeah.
Like that is not what they want to do. They don't want to get up and down and run the floor. That's not what this team is. That was more last year's team. This year, what they want to do is get it in the half court. They'll walk it up. There's a little bit of Virginia vibes where they can kind of take the pace out of the game and make it so you have to guard for so long that you just kind of, your legs will get tired on a specific possession. And if they want to run, though, they can still run.
Opportunistic is probably the word I would use.
Yeah, and if they want to, if it's going to, sometimes it's going to be a Cam Spencer game. Sometimes it's going to be Steph Castle taking over, and we'll talk about him later. Sometimes it's going to be Tristan Newton taking over. Today it was Donovan Clingan. Like most teams, the thing that the threat about Illinois today, right, Jeff, was they had 3 guys that could take over a game and win it for you. But that's it. UConn kind of has 5 guys that can do that.
You know what I was surprised about early is that Shannon was almost like a decoy standing on the corner, and they didn't use him early. Now, Domask was rolling. He was rolling. But I felt like you had to have them both going at that point. I was waiting and waiting and waiting. And again, obviously with Clingan in there, it's different. But when Samson Johnson came in, like you needed to have at that point, Shannon get his confidence up where he could attack. He never did. And then he's in transition. He's going to go. We know that. But like in the half court, he just stood there. He was standing there.
Here's the thing: there was that's kind of what their offense is. Like they'll take turns and they'll go one-on-one.
But they never took turns. It was Domas because he was rolling.
They did, but you have like there's like one dude in college basketball that is kind of built to be able to slow down Terrence Shannon, and I think it's Stephen Cat. Like what he did
didn't have to is what I'm saying. He didn't have to. If you watch it early. He just stood there. He didn't have to.
Okay. We'll watch the film later and we can determine
watch
whether or not
that's
true. But the biggest thing was that they had Clingan at the rim to defend, that they had that help, that they had that guy that could clean up all of those messes, and he did an unbelievable job cleaning up all of those messes. Best month of the year is here, which is why you need to know that we are partnered with BetMGM. We'll be using BetMGM lines for making all of our picks and predictions, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers of the Field of 68. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, you can use bonus code FIELD, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's the best part. All you need to do is deposit and bet $10 of your hard-earned money to get it. This is what you have to do to make it work. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using that bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. You'll get up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Most importantly, we have some fun stuff coming up for the rest of the NCAA tournament. Bet insurance tokens, college hoops odds boost, and the thing that I love the most, a nice little parlay boost, as well as a ridiculous array of prop bets for anything that you could possibly imagine betting on. From odds on getting to the Final Four to national championship futures, I'm calling it right now. BetMGM is the king of the prop bet. So go download the BetMGM app. Use that code FIELD and sign up today. And while I've got you, a quick request. The best way to support the Field of 68 content you get for free is to engage with us. Rate and review the pod in any podcast app. Like and share the YouTube videos that you enjoy. Tell your friends about us. It all helps in a world where the algorithm is king. And now, back to the show.